Hey guys, what's up? Gavin here. Very excited to announce that right now, today, my new EP, my first EP of 6 that will be coming out this summer, is out. It is called Lost Forest. That is the alias for the project. Lost Forest without a space. And the EP's name is Many Others Have Done So Before. There's a link. You can check it out on Spotify. Or if you're into downloading and that sort of thing, there's also a Bandcamp page for it. Just go hop in, listen to it. I'm going to talk right now, though, a bit about what the project is, what I was thinking when I started making it, who are the other personnel that were involved, open up the DAW so you can see what the actual project file looks like, and then I'm going to show you a few of my favorite moments on guitar. So, in my mind, this project is me trying to make black metal. So something I don't like about a lot of quote-unquote black metal is there's this sound of sort of taking one chord and just sort of moving it around like a minor chord. And it just gets a little uninteresting to me because it's like, yes, this is dissonant, but it almost becomes dissonant in a predictable way. And I think there's a lot of cool ways to create dissonance that are more within convention, more within using traditional harmony. What if we had a very cool chord, like this major chord with a 6 in it, and we played with that, and the tension that's there. A lot of these songs were more about writing chord progressions and using interesting, colorful chords. I think in the first track there's one chord progression that's like 26 bars long or 28 bars long. It almost goes for 40 seconds before it repeats. But the initial vision was to do something with just sort of constantly going drums that just had these big, huge, moody chords. In terms of other people that helped me out with the project, there's a guy named Nicholas who played the drums, and there's a guy named Zhenya who did the vocals. Nicholas doesn't live anywhere near me. We're kind of buddies online. I found him a long time ago because he posted these Discordance Axis covers. Discordance Axis is like a really cool, fast, snappy grind band. And to Nicholas's credit here, all the performances he does on this EP are one take. I made some edits here and there for some timing, but mostly it's just exactly as he performed it, which I think is quite cool. Zhenya is a local buddy of mine, and we've worked on a few projects before, and the process with him was actually quite collaborative, where like every day he was coming here to this room and working on the vocals with me. I was kind of playing producer, saying like, all right, can you do this? And then he goes, ah. So what we're going to do first is just hop in the project file for the songs and just kind of take a look at what we have going on with each instrument, what they all sound like separately, how they work together to create that full mix that we're used to hearing. So the drums actually were only recorded with 2 mics. We have one mic that does this right in front of the kick drum, and then we have our overhead. Black metal energy doesn't need to have the most pristine production sound to it, and I think I overall achieved like a really raw sound I like that also doesn't sound shit raw. So together, sounds like this. The cool snare roll here, I think. Yeah, tons of that everywhere. The bass. We also have this element that you might not have known was there, which is keyboard. Sort of, not that one, but used as sort of cheap keyboard, and I played along all the same chords that the guitar does. So this really is just there as a support to the guitars, and it really fills in the mix. You'll notice too there's some like crackling. And that's actually from the speaker of the keyboard just being so loud that it's physically distorting, which I thought was quite cool. And then we have the guitar tracks here. So I recorded them DI, right? Chris Menino, I think is his name. He's all around the local scene here. He reamped these guitars for me through a XXX amp head. You'll notice that there's 2 mics for each side, right? There's a SM57, which is panned hard in each direction, and then there's these AT4040s, which I have much closer to the center, which provide a lot of the body. Right? They kind of balance each other out in a nice way. And then, of course, we have our vocals here. Listening it back here, it almost sounds quiet. He's just going, ah. It's like a wake up everyone in the neighborhood type of thing. He screams so freaking loud. There's a lot of like choosing the best takes we did. You'll see there's some chops here, which has to do with like moving timing around. But any of the crazy long screams you hear, he just actually did those. When I had Zhenya, the vocalist, over, at first we didn't want to do like full vocal takes because it was just taking a little bit too long to figure out what we're doing and record it at the same time. So we said, like, let's just write the parts first, which we did, to just sort of find the sound of like what sounds good where, what should the rhythm of the vocal be before we add lyrics or anything. And it sounds a little silly. It sounds like this. And then he wrote lyrics to it and came back and we recorded it and it ended up like this. One of my favorite moments for sure. So most of the EP is synchronized between the two guitars. They're playing the same exact thing. It's like a double track sound. And then here and there it breaks from it. I usually prefer things where the left and right guitar are always different, but I like the sound of this because when they do break apart from each other, you really notice it. And especially in this case, you get kind of a cool conversation. So you kind of always hear one ear playing the chord and one ear doing the picking through the chord in alternation. That moment was in the last track, and this next one is actually from the second track, Arcanist Lament. It's really the weirdest part of this whole EP. There's chords being outlined by one of the guitars, but the other guitar here is just very obviously doing some kind of like lead rhythm part. It's definitely not a solo, but it's definitely a very strange kind of rhythm part. It's almost made to be uncomfortable ergonomically, but it sounds so cool. Check this out. There's too many moments really to talk about, and I hope you just discover a lot of the moments for yourself. I'm hoping to make at least one more video really going in depth on a few sections or maybe a whole song, kind of showing you literally how things are played and then also talking about the mindset of like how I got there, what kind of theory I was thinking about. And the very best news about all this is that this is just the first EP of 6. That's right. So next Friday, look forward again to another project. Hopefully if this one wasn't exactly your jam, you might like the next one, though fair warning, we are going to get weirder from here on out.